we finally get a match kind of again with our coffee and astrology because we're pre-recording.
Yes, it is technically coffee time. Actually, I just scarfed down breakfast with my coffee, so I didn't bring it down here, but...
Oh, no. Big mistake.
Well,
we are pre-recording today.
Yes.
Excuse me. Both a little under the weather, so forgive us. But we are here. We're making it. Excuse me. I am Julie. This is Elle. We're with the Academy of Logic and Light. We are a peer-to-peer education platform that empowers students and teachers to practice their spirituality without indoctrination. If you're looking to teach, share, host, or volunteer for this really amazing school, the Academy, please just send us a DM and we'll get more information to you. You can find us through any of our social medias, Pinterest, Twitter. I'm like, what else? TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We got it all.
Sorry. That was mute, right?
No.
I thought I hit mute. I'm so sorry. I'm like, mute. Then I screamed. Guess I didn't mute. Sorry, guys. I saw your face. Oh, God, that wasn't muted. My bad.
I'm going to run a quick intro and then we'll hop on into the 9th house.
Sorry, that was so loud. And it's right there by my speaker, too, because I can't even imagine how loud that was. I'm really sorry if you weren't awake. Well, I guess it's Monday night because we're pre-recording. So if you were, falling asleep in your sleepy tea, that was your wake-up call. You're welcome. All right. So today we are going to go over the house ruler of the 9th house. So the 9th house is all about philosophy and learning and exploring, and not just exploring the mind and all the things, but also exploring other locations, travel, different countries, long travels, just different areas of where you would travel. I mean, depending, I have a kind of a weird square here with my 9th house that my sign or my chart literally indicates that if I go out of the country, I could have complications getting back in. So
just a little bit I know about you, that tracks.
No, I'm like, I don't know if I want to leave the country because then what if I can't come back? But then I'm like, is that such a bad thing? So yeah, if you look at mine, I've got my Mars, which is kind of what I was talking about, that kind of squares here with my Neptune. There's just a thing here that's it's not very promising that I can make it back. So just gotta watch it. Gotta be careful. And then my ascendant, there's just a lot, and that's a little more advanced. I would probably throw everybody off, but there's definitely a square here. It's definitely, if you look at my ascendant, it's at 16 degrees, and my Mars is at, I think, 14. So they're within orb, and there's other things too that just indicate trouble's getting back into my foreign country. So.
Fascinating. So yours is ruled by, your 9th house is ruled by Leo, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So then Leo's ruled by the sun. So then we follow the sun.
Yes. And so this is really fascinating, because when you look at my 9th house ruler being Leo, and then you follow it to my sun, Libra is very flowy, it's an air sign, go with the flow. And my travels are typically very go with the flow. But then if you look at, Libra is my sun. So then you go to my Venus, which is right next door in the 9th house. So it kind of correlates my...
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. It's the one that in the Virgo. But if you look at it in the 9th house, it connects my 9th and 10th house. So my career, my possessions, there's been a lot of travel with mine. What I love and how it's like travel learning. I'm always in school. I feel like I just graduated. Literally, my whole life has been education and learning, and I'm still learning. I'm taking on a new job opportunity with something that I've never even so out of my profession of like what I've done my whole life. So I'm always learning. I'm always willing to grow, and this is a huge indicator because my Leo rules my ninth house, my sun is Libra, who is always kind of, open and flowy to new things. And then you follow my Venus, because my sun is Libra and Venus rules Libra, and my Venus is in Virgo. But in the ninth house, it gives me this like structured connection of how I work and play and what fulfills me. And so that was kind of a lot to unpack. But if you just keep following your signs and then what planet rules that sign and follow it to that house, you'll see how it all connects in the big picture. We will get there.
We will get there.
But yeah, so Leo is my ninth house ruler. What is your ninth house ruler?
Sorry, I'm going to be taking lots of mute breaks for this cough. It is so gross. Okay, so I'm over here in ninth house, ruled by Aries.
Yes, and it's empty, which we all know means nothing because Julie is constantly traveling, constantly learning, constantly in school. So when you follow her Mars to her sixth house, so then you're going to look at, okay, even though the ninth house is empty, it is ruled by the planet of action and movement and cardinal energy, beginning, start. So when you look at like, okay, well, she doesn't have any planets in there, but she has a busy sixth house and her Mars is placed in there in Aquarius. So it kind of connects her to like her travels might be kind of weird, might be unorthodox, might be, her career. I wouldn't say like a flight attendant is completely unorthodox, but I don't really, other than the friends that I've made through you, I don't really know any flight attendants. Like it's always like, how do I not know?
We usually stick together in pods.
We don't venture out much, but like I get on, you get on a flight. I've never gotten on a flight. I'm like, oh, hey, I know you. Like I go to random places and I still never see anyone, I see someone that I know. I'm like, oh, whatever. Never have I ever met a flight attendant or seen a flight attendant that I'm like, oh, I know you. Never saw them. I've never even seen you on a flight, and I fly a lot.
I haven't flown in 2 years, so.
Well.
I mean, like work flying. I fly for fun all the time, but.
Yeah.
You'll see me on the line soon if you're going to Hawaii or Mexico. One of these days, I'll be back.
Dang. Lucky. Well. So yeah, so that's kind of what Julie's is kind of like signifying, is that hers is more the action that's taken, like I said, unorthodox, untraditional ways of travel. You're probably really good at being the travel coordinator and getting making sure that everything is in line, and not in a Virgo overcritical kind of way, but just in more a structured, not bossy, but just a very detailed and structured, stern way.
Yes. I like to fly with certain people that take control of the things so that I know I'm safe and I don't have to worry and can relax.
Yeah.
But like enough leeway that like we could stop on the side of the road and grab a beer and have a side adventure.
That. You'll find too that a lot of times your ninth house will insinuate who you travel well with. If you don't, have you ever traveled with someone that you're like, why did I leave and go on this trip with them?
I have so many stories of people telling me I'm not allowed to invite certain friends anymore because just some people don't travel well. And that's okay.
And you can look at their charts, because I've traveled with someone who was not a good traveler for me, but then they ended up dating someone who was very compatible with them. I mean, we're friends. We kept super compatible friendship, but traveling was tricky for us. And they traveled all the time, and he was like, she's the best travel companion. And I'm like, I don't think we went on the trip with the same person, but it's mine. And, Sagittarius rules his ninth house and Leo rules mine. And we are very the same in how we travel and how we do things.
I like that though. It's so nice when you find like the right compatibility.
Yes. Like you and I, we would probably travel well together.
Absolutely. I'd be down.
But that's okay.
Yeah. Somebody might have to bail us out of something, but
that's okay. That's a good time.
Makes it more fun.
All right. So we're just going to jump into it. I'm not going to I've been going into a lot of details with these today since we're pre-recording. I'm going to go through them. I'm going to let you connect your things. We have the cheat sheet here. We have a list of kind of, what it entails. But I'm just going to run through it today. Again, we're not feeling 100%. That's part of why we're pre-recording because we don't want to let you guys down. We want to always show up on Mondays, but this Monday just wasn't going to work for me, especially. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to help you connect some things in your chart, and then I hope you guys have a great night after this. But so if your ruler of the ninth house is in the first house, so per our usual, what we've been kind of using is we'll just go through Aries and go through all the things. So we're going to say Aries rules your ninth house. You're going to look in your chart and you're going to find where Mars is. So Mars rules Aries. So you go in your chart, you find Mars, and then you're going to see what house that's in and what planet that is in. And then you need to take that Aries energy and what planets are there. There's some planets we talk about that are good. They're all good. There are some planets that Aries works really well in, like Mars. Like say your ninth house ruler is Aries and your Mars is in the ninth house, and it has a lot of trines. You travel probably a lot and it's a lot of fun. You're just a gypsy, in the sense, maybe that's what you get paid for, is travel. It's a beneficial kind of placement. Unless you have things that are not, aspecting well, then it can be a disaster. But that's what you would do. You're going to chase Aries, or chase Mars in your chart, see where it's at, see how it correlates with this house, with the planets, and with the signs. So that's kind of an Aries, what you're going to chase there. If your ruler of the ninth house is in the second house, so let's pretend that your ninth house ruler is Taurus, and we're going to pretend that your Venus, because Venus rules Taurus, is in the second house. This gives a person probably someone who travels safely, not so much this crazy wild heathen like Julie and I would be in travels. It's more, this is a very goes to Paris, eats the most delicious food, has a really strict budget, things like that. So, Taurus energy, take that. That's just the example that I'm using today. But, if you have something a little more, maybe Taurus is your ninth house ruler and your Venus is in the fifth house, might be a little less conservative, a little more fun. And maybe you go there for a sensual, sexual experience. I know people that go to other countries looking for foreign people. I shouldn't say men, because it could be women too. And that's just something they're curious about. No judgment on that, dude.
That's all a Cowson Road with the ladyboys.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So it's that kind of energy if you were to have your Venus in the fifth house, because it'd be very fun, it'd be very light, curious, and not super conservative. Makes it a little more lighter. So hopefully that puts things in a good perspective for you. If Taurus rules your ninth house and your Venus is in the second house versus the fifth house, that's just how it kind of changes that up a little bit. Mm-hmm. If your ruler of the ninth house is in the third house, so let's pretend that Gemini rules your ninth house and your Mercury, because Mercury rules Gemini, is in your third house. This would almost give that kind of energy of someone who travels to maybe speak, maybe does conferences, maybe, it could be a lot of different things. Could travel with siblings, or maybe you travel often to visit siblings that live in other countries. This can indicate someone with siblings outside of where you all grew up kind of energy. So it could be one or two of those things. It would depend on other things. I'd have to see a full chart to really determine what it would be. But that's just an indicator of someone having siblings out of the vicinity of where they grew up. So traveling a lot. It doesn't have to be other countries. Normally ninth house is far ventures, but it can be. LA to New York is pretty far. So
yeah,
I don't know what's determined when it says short travels versus long travels. Maybe time frames versus distance, probably more or less.
Maybe.
I'm doing a live right now. So sorry, I don't know, because you're that's not Monday night. We can bother you. Okay. So that's just kind of if Gemini were to rule the ninth house, and the Mercury to be in the third house. Hold on one second. I'm actually going to put you on mute. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What do you need, Kinsey? I'm literally on a live right now. I'm not reading that. You're grounded. You're so grounded. Okay. So if your ninth house is, sorry about that.
Parenting.
Sorry. I'm literally going to ask me this right now. It's because it's not Monday night, guys. She's not used to the Sunday morning. Can't bother mom. So if your ninth house ruler is, did we miss the fourth house?
Oh, sorry, I might have.
No, you're good. Okay. If your house, so let's pretend that Cancer rules your ninth house and that your moon is in the fourth house. So this is someone who I wouldn't say doesn't like to travel, but definitely isn't probably the most traveling spirit. You think of Cancer being a homebody, your moon, emotions being in the fourth house. This really generates a very conservative, home-based type of person. So now if you are, let's say Cancer rules your ninth house and your moon is in the ninth house, then it's probably a Cancer moon. So that would be a little more like you might emotionally enjoy experiences through travel. It might be something that you venture out a little more. So that could change and shift that a little bit. If your ninth house ruler is in the fifth house, so this one would be fun. So let's pretend that Leo rules your ninth house, which mine does. And let's pretend that your sun is in the fifth house. This would give a very fun personality, someone who enjoys traveling. They travel for fun. They go all the time. And they just make it light and fun. And it's usually a good time. Maybe they travel and these would be people that would really enjoy, when you go to certain places and they have like contests or just random things with like the community or like tourist spots. And they're like, who wants to come up and, do whatever, who knows, like hula on the stage. We're going to pretend we're in Hawaii. Like it's supposed to be like, and they get up there and they're like, I had the best experience. I got up and I danced and yada, yada, yada. It's that kind of energy versus, if you're someone like myself, well, I shouldn't use mine because mine's 10th house. Yeah, that would actually kind of be perfect. If you're Leo and your sun is in the 10th house, you're more worried about your public role. You're not really going to get up there and look like a fool because you have an appearance to maintain, unless that's your appearance. For me, it is not. I sometimes seem like I have a stick up my ass, and that's okay. But I don't really get up on stage and do the things. So that's the difference between your Leo ruling your ninth house and your sun being in the fifth house versus Capricorn 10th house energy. Stick up your butt energy. So, and that's not the case for everyone. So if your sun is in the 10th house and you are lively and super fun, good for you. But it depends on other placements in your chart. So if the ruler of your ninth house is in the 6th house, so if Virgo is ruling your ninth house and your Mercury is in the 6th house, there could be some anxiousness in traveling. It might make you nervous. You may not be a great traveler. You might be okay with traveling. And again, this can be a position for work to cause you to travel and you just really not enjoy that part of your job. Like maybe you really love your job, but that part of it you hate. Or maybe there's times of the month you have to go to certain areas or, different places that cause you to have to travel. That may indicate someone who doesn't really love that. Versus if Virgo rules your ninth house and your Mercury is in the 3rd house of like short travels, you may really enjoy it. It might be fun, more lighthearted than say the 6th house. If the ruler of your ninth house is in the 7th house, so let's pretend that Libra rules your ninth house. You go and you track down where Venus is. So let's pretend Venus is in the 7th house. This can be an indicator of someone who marries abroad, a foreigner, a number of things here. They could make a lot of friends out of the country or out of their state. They love to travel. They like the aesthetic of it. They do a lot of travel for, again, the aesthetic of it versus like, some people like
it's for the gram.
For the gram, let's just say it. It's just for a little clout, okay? I want everyone to know that I'm doing this, and there's lots of pictures, and they just want everyone to see what they're doing, and that it's beautiful, and that they're living their best life. It's kind of vain. But, I mean, hey, leave are vain. I'm sorry. We don't want to hear it sometimes, but we are. It's fine. So, yeah, that's that kind of energy. If the ruler of your ninth house is in the 8th house, so if Scorpio rules your ninth house, and your Pluto is in the 8th house. This could be someone that's maybe experienced bad things traveling. They maybe, I've always wondered, like, when something really shitty happens somewhere, and I'm like, I wonder if anyone was like traveling there that day. Like, normally wouldn't be there. Like, there's an earthquake. Like, you go somewhere and there's like this massive earthquake or like this massive tornado, or I always think of natural disasters, but it could really be anything. Like, I'm like, what are the odds of them like traveling? Like there had to have been people that traveled to Hawaii when the fires
Oh
broke.
yeah.
Like day one. I'm not saying like day 10. I'm saying day one. It's like, how did you end up there on that day? That would have been
Awful.
this
8th house energy.
yeah. Scorpio ruling your 9th house, but maybe it's kind of like, because Pluto is the tear down, make you, put you at your bottom, and then you climb out of it and you become stronger. So it's all for a good cause. But typically this would be someone who probably experiences things like that just randomly happen when they're traveling. It's like, damn, but you probably learn something and grow from it. So keep that in mind so that it doesn't feel so negative and bad. Just think of it that way.
I have a 9th house Sagittarius example.
Okay. So the rule of the 9th house is in its own house. So Sagittarius. Oh, you're good. I wonder why my mute button doesn't work.
I don't know. Is it are you using it on your laptop or on the live stream?
I'm using it on my laptop.
Yeah, try whenever you see your little, like on your face.
Yeah.
Try that mute.
Yeah, it doesn't mute. Okay. Huh. Good to know. Sorry, everyone. Yelling at my kids. There we go. I feel like if anything, everyone can relate if they have children.
That we're doing this as real as possible.
Doing our best. This is the most interruptions we've had. And it's been recorded. Okay. So if Sagittarius rules your 9th house, this can be an indicator. So you go to Sagittarius, and then let's pretend that your Jupiter is in your 9th house. So let's pretend Jupiter's here. It's not. It's in the 11th house. So this person probably has a really fun time traveling. Think of Sagittarius in the 9th house of travel. It loves it. The travel is there. It's there. And so much of this would indicate friends. So the 11th house is friendship and things of that such. Ruled, well, technically Capricorn is the house ruler of that, but it's in Aquarius. So we're going to look at what the planet is in. So Jupiter is in Aquarius. When you think of like Sagittarius and Aquarius energy, it's fun, it's light, it's a little weird. Travel, yeah. high priority on this person's list. So great energy here for travel. Great, good luck. I mean, on travels, like good fortune within travels, and things probably really come to them. They might be that lucky person that's like, oh, I'm not from here, and then they win $1 million in some foreign land because who knows, they were just there at the right time. It's that kind of energy. So I like that for this person. But
yeah, it's funny. This person traveled to Salt Lake for work and then got a girlfriend.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
What is the house? Oh, Moon in the 7th house in Libra. I love that.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it. So that's a good one to have. But if your ruler of the 9th house is in the 10th house, so if Capricorn rules your 9th house, this person really enjoys traveling and working. And I'm using traveling heavily instead of so much education here. That's the theme of today, is travel for the 9th house. So maybe somebody needed to hear that. But it could also be, this could be someone who's a perpetual student. Like, you ever meet someone that's like 50? It's going to be Julie.
Yeah.
And you're still going to be like, I'm on my 8th master's degree, I'm a doctor now, but you're still going to school because you can't stop learning. It's a disease at that point. Not really. I mean, education.
Yeah, it is.
It's not a disease, but it's just, you can't stop. You're addicted to learning, and it's that kind of personality. And I love that. And then also with travel, I would say that if we're going to associate this, depending on other things in the chart with travel, Capricorn ruling the 9th house would be someone who likes to travel for work. And so it's that kind of energy. And then you would just follow Saturn and where it is in your chart, depending. It could be really negative. Like if you have, let's just say that your Saturn is in the 10th house. Career may be not it for you. You may learn a lot through your career, and maybe it's a lot of heavy stuff. Maybe you're traveling like overseas for like war and things of that nature. I mean, it would all kind of depend on Mars and other placements in your chart, but maybe you've seen a lot of things. This can indicate someone who's maybe seen a lot of hard things with the Saturn if it were in the 10th house. So, or even the 8th house. Could be a lot of death. So, just a couple of comparisons. Take you down a dark road real quick. Now, if the ruler of the 9th house is Aquarius, you would follow your Saturn or I always do that, your Uranus, to where that is. And so if you think of Aquarius, they travel great. They're, gypsies naturally. They can flow. They can go wherever. They are fixed. I would say out of the air signs, this one might be a little more resilient to not travel, but mostly there's travel there. Depending on where Uranus is in the chart, it can really indicate a good travel companion or not. So let's just pretend it's in the 11th house and you're a great travel companion. I won't say where it would make you more difficult, 6th house, but whatever.
I was just going to say it's a Virgo energy.
You don't want to travel with someone overly critical and with Aquarius energy, because not only does it make them critical, it makes them bitchy. And nobody wants that.
Nobody likes that.
So if you have that placement, depending on where other things are in your chart,
do better.
Yourself when you're traveling with someone, you're the asshole. All right. If your ruler of the 9th house is in the 12th house, I've been trying to just go through these and not read. Every once in a while it'll catch me. And the illness, and you're in a foreign country. Yes. Yeah. You could be in a tropical rainforest and get bit by a poisonous frog. That would be the luck here. So if Pisces rules your 9th house, you may travel for spiritual adventures. I kind of like the theme of not even traveling physically, but mentally. Because it's that kind of energy, Pisces, depending on where your Neptune is, they're very daydreamy. If you have a Neptune in the 12th house, or you have Neptune in a hazy house, then you definitely probably take a lot of travels mentally. You don't even have to physically leave your home, which I think a lot of Pisces would really enjoy that. So think of that perspective as well, because that's always kind of a way of travel. But I wouldn't say this person's not a great traveler. I would just say that this person may not enjoy traveling. Pisces aren't super homebodies, but they do like their alone time. And unless they were traveling by themselves somewhere that wasn't like overly populated, I could see that being a really beneficial thing for a Pisces. Like I don't know, like you see the little cottages surrounded by like the mountains and rivers, and you don't even know how they get to this place, right? Like it's a picture and you're like, oh wow, that's really pretty, but like how do you get there? I just imagine like Pisces, that being like the ideal spot for a Pisces ruling the 9th house, loving the part of getting away, but also getting away from the people, because Pisces, and the people, they can only people for so long. So
I can relate to that.
what house does Pisces rule for you?
Let me look. Oops.
So Pisces in my chart doesn't even rule a house.
Oh, interesting.
It's intercepted. So yeah, Taurus and Scorpio. So Pisces for you rules house. Yeah. That. And it's, empty, and you've got, let's see, where's your Neptune? Sagittarius?
I always, they're either Uranus and Neptune look the same to me always, but they're both in Sag, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I mean, they're both mutable, so that's nice. It does kind of flow in that sense. But again, this is somebody that would like to be alone, and 8th house is alone energy too, so Pisces over it. Again, mine doesn't touch. I don't need to be alone. I really couldn't tell you anytime. I've had kids since I was 19. I've never been alone. There is always somebody there. And I'm okay with that. So, but that's it, guys.
I love being alone. We did it.
We did it. We did it quick. My phone's over here blowing up, so my daughter needs to purchase something off Amazon. Apparently.
No worries. Thank you for taking the time. I know it's a busy week.
Yes.
And we will have this posted on Monday night for everyone watching. And if you guys can't catch us live, there's 40 plus videos previously to this that gets you up to this level. If this didn't make sense, go check them out, watch them, like them, share them, and we will be back next Monday with the 10th house. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, that's it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next Monday.
Thanks, Elle.
Yes, bye.
Bye.